sometimes when we get deep into the roster, the names that lie deep, deep into the roster battles, it can feel like a little bit of a game of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. If you don't know that saying, guys, it just means, who do you know? How are you connected to this organization? And in one way that I thought we would see more of, but to be real, I don't think we've seen a lot of it, is Coach Nick Sirianni and like his kind of coaching tree and kind of like the guys he's come across in his career that are in the college game. I'm alluding to Iowa State. I thought we would see a lot more dudes, especially in the undrafted rookie free agent, late round of the draft. I thought we'd see more of those type of players, but so far that has not been the case, even though there's really strong connections. But where there has been a lot of connections, where there has been a very solid foundation is, how do you know Jalen Hurts? I do think that there's definitely a trend there. We can look at guys such as, Kennedy Brooks from Oklahoma, was running back there. Trey Sermon, before he was at Ohio State, was at Oklahoma with, Jalen Hurts. Then you go back and you take a look at guys like Grant Calcaterra. Grant Calcaterra cross paths. Tanner McKee, I believe is how you say that young man's name, the quarterback coming out of Stanford, was recruited at one point by Jalen Hurts. So, you definitely see this kind of like back end of the roster. You start playing this game of who do you know and what can you tell us about yourself? Well, today's topic, we're going to talk about Jadon Haselwood, wide receiver from Arkansas. But you might have guessed it, previously, Oklahoma has a connection back his freshman season to Jalen Hurts. All right, y'all, let's get it. What's up, Cerebral football fans? My name is Steven Hyder. This is Gate City Sports Channel. I want to make this known right from the jump, guys. It is really, really difficult to evaluate guys that we're talking about the truly back end of the roster, if they even make it. And I do think that it gets really, really difficult to project that, and you need to know one key thing about dudes that you're projecting towards the back end of your roster, which is, what can you do for the team exactly? Are you just a depth piece? Because if you can't contribute on special teams, it does become quite conflictual to keep you on the roster. And that is where I have to start the conversation off with Jadon Haselwood, which is, to begin with, a big, big dude. We're talking 6'2", 215 pounds with a 31.25-inch arm reach, 10-inch hands, and a 75.625, just under 76-inch wingspan. When I went back and I was watching some of his film and I was listening to some different scouts talk about the young man, that the thing that comes up is that, hey, this is a guy that could probably play as a boundary kind of, wide receiver inside of a system where you require strong hands and a guy who doesn't need to create a ton of separation in order to bail you out of a situation. Now, the difficulty is going to lie in, look, this guy's not the fastest dude in the world. He doesn't gain a ton of separation. His 20 split is certainly not making you feel like, or even the flying 20, that he can gain that separation down the field. So there's going to be some limitations to what he can do. And I think that's where it becomes really difficult to assess young men like this because, straightforward, if you go to his testing results, guys, he ran a 4.66 40 with a 1.56 10 split, an estimated 2.65 20 split, a 37-inch vertical, 123-inch broad jump, a 4.31 short shuttle, and a 6.98 3-cone. So, as I look over those numbers, guys, decent. He has some decent explosive traits, right? The 1.56 10 split, not what I would expect it when I saw a 4.66 40, so that is better than the expectation. 123-inch broad jump's not horrible. 37-inch vertical is not bad. So, the explosive traits, a lot better than I would say than what you would expect. Still not like upper echelon of the NFL, guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's what he is. And then his lateral movement abilities, what he put up on the 3-cone, what he put up on the short shuttle. They're not terrible. The short shuttle's not great. I'm not going to lie. That's bottom third of the league number on the short shuttle. But the 3-cone is at least in like around the upper area of the 50%. He's right in the middle, basically, in terms of that 3-cone. So nothing from the testing so far makes me think like this is a guy that be on the lookout for. But here's the deal with the NFL, man. If you get a shot, it's all about the opportunity that you take with the shot you're given. It's about what you do with those opportunities that are afforded to you, simply put. And no one can really say what this young man's going to do once the lights come on, once there's an opponent standing across from him. Does he start making plays? Does he start catching the coach's eyes? Sure, this dude did not play on special teams a whole lot, guys. He never played more than 20 snaps from what I can see as a special teams contributor at any point in his career. That doesn't mean that he can't play special teams. It just means that it wasn't really asked of him, obviously. So, that's something he's going to have to illustrate come down the line here. He was not graded out very well as a blocking, wide receiver. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, he was like just above a 50, like a 52 point something. Was not very, very highly regarded in that respect. But we all say this about grading. Grading is absolutely impartial, right? It's not my opinion. It's a panel. It's a team of panelists who come up with an opinion based upon whatever metrics that they are using to grade the player. But as you and I have always said, guys, it's subjective as hell. We all know that. Like, yeah, they get stuff wrong on that grading quite a bit. And there's sometimes I think that maybe certain factors aren't weighted or considered heavily enough when you're looking at those things. You know what I mean? Like there are some, like when you're grading a guy and the guy's playing a team's third best corner, I mean, yeah, you might grade him out as being higher, but I mean, let's be real. If he was squaring off against the team's best corner, that grading might look a little different. Let's be real. So subjectivity to those type of things. He's going to have to prove it. I mean, they went out there and they secured the young man as an undrafted free agent. They've carried him through now rookie camp. He looks like he's at least going to head into OTAs. Every single one of these things just gets you a step closer to getting into camp. Because if you can stick on this roster until camp and then work your way into training camp to where now you're having, those other, situations where you're squaring off against opponents. It's not just your teammates, but you're squaring off against, like an actual opponent. So you have those practices. And then you can kind of work that into the preseason. You got a shot, man. I mean, you have a shot. I think the question you're going to have to ask is that, okay, Zach Pascal was the guy that was a really good special teams contributor, had some size, so gave you some size protection, right? And then also, while he wasn't, like someone that's going to beat you and give you 100 catches and 1,000-yard season, respectable receiver. I mean, this was a guy that, you knew you could get some first down production from. You knew that this guy could play outside or in the slot. This young man, Zach Pascal, was an incredible blocking wide receiver. I think that's the role they're trying to replace with the guys they brought in as undrafted free agents to kind of give a look to. Other than that, you're looking to catch on in the Britton Covey kind of Devin Allen roles, which are going to be more special teams laden, punt returns and kick returns and all that kind of stuff. What can you do? He's going to have to show that in camp, guys. I don't have the answer for it. We will have to see. Is he a route specialist? I'd probably pull back on that a little bit, guys. I don't think that he's particularly refined in his route running, if I'm going to be honest. But I don't think he's like atrocious in it either. So this is one of these guys that we're going to have to watch everything kind of play out as we get into camp and just see where is this young man at. I can't tell you if this guy has a legit shot at making the roster or not. I would say that for anyone in that wide receiver room, if you cannot return punts, if you cannot return kickoffs, it's probably very much an uphill battle. You better be one heck of a blocking specialist because that's what we're looking to replace. But I don't know, man. I mean, everyone deserves an opportunity first before you write them off. So a guy that I'm watching out for, they've kept him through rookie camp. He was an unsigned drafted free agent. Now you're going to have to watch and see what he does in terms of OTAs and then going into actual camp. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all's time and attention. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.